And welcome to a special report. It is January 3rd, 2026, and what I'm about to share with you has a 0.0007% probability of natural occurrence. I'm talking about 3I Atlasu. 12 hours ago, at exactly 1427 UTC, NASA's TSS satellite detected something inside this interstellar object that should not exist. A breathable atmosphere, not around the object inside it. Think about that for a moment. An object traveling from another star system, an object that entered our solar system at 47.2 kilometers per second. An object that every model classified as a frozen comet nucleus. This object just revealed a hollow interior. And that interior contains oxygen, nitrogen, trace amounts of carbon dioxide. The exact ratio, 78.4% nitrogen, 20.9% oxygen, 0.6% argon. Those numbers should sound familiar because that is Earth's atmosphere, precise to within 0.3% deviation. And let that sink in. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory received this data at 1503 UTC within 47 minutes. 3 separate divisions confirmed the spectroscopic analysis. ESA's Gaia spacecraft cross-referenced the molecular signatures from its position 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. The data matched. I have studied astrophysics for over 40 years. I have examined thousands of cometary spectra. I have never seen anything like this. The core of 3I Atlas opened. That's the only way to describe what happened. At 1422 UTC, thermal imaging showed a surface temperature of minus 178 degrees Celsius. Standard for an object at this distance from the Sun. Then at 1426 UTC, exactly 4 minutes later, a 340-meter section of the surface separated. The separation was clean, geometric, not the chaotic fracturing you see when comets break apart from thermal stress. This was mechanical, and through that opening, NASA's instruments detected a pressurized interior environment. Atmospheric pressure reading 0.94 bars, almost identical to sea level on Earth. Now, here's what keeps me awake. The probability of an interstellar object having any detectable atmosphere, approximately 1 in 12 million. The probability of that atmosphere matching Earth's composition within 1% tolerance, 1 in 4.7 billion, both occurring in the same object. The mathematics breaks down. We're looking at odds that shouldn't exist in nature. In 4.2 million years of cometary observation across every database, we have access to nothing comes close. ESA's Director of Space Science called an emergency session at 1645 UTC today. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson received a classified briefing at 1730 UTC. The James Webb Space Telescope is being repositioned right now as I speak to you. Every major observatory on Earth is pointing at the same coordinates. This is not how the scientific community responds to a comet.
How long does it take to become a master of AI?
28 days.
Explain. 3I Atlas is currently 187 million kilometers from Earth. It's approaching, and its core is open. The data I'm about to show you comes directly from peer-reviewed observations logged in the last 18 hours. Multiple instruments, multiple space agencies, multiple independent confirmations. And what that data reveals about this object's interior will fundamentally challenge everything we thought we knew about what can exist in interstellar space. To understand what we're witnessing today, we need to go back to where this began. 3I Atlas was first detected on March 1st, 2025. The Atlas Survey telescope in Hawaii captured a faint smudge moving against the background stars. At that moment, astronomers assumed it was another long-period comet. Nothing unusual, nothing remarkable. They were wrong. Within 72 hours, trajectory analysis revealed the truth. This object was not bound to our sun. Its velocity was too high. Its orbit was hyperbolic. 3I Atlas came from interstellar space, the third confirmed interstellar visitor in human history, after Oumuamua in 2017, after Borisov in 2019. But here's what made 3I Atlas different from the start. On March 14, 2025, ESA's Gaia spacecraft logged the first anomaly. The object's albedo was wrong. Comets reflect sunlight in predictable ways. 3I Atlas was reflecting 47% more light than its size should allow. And that's anomaly number 1. On April 2, 2025, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope detected anomaly number 2, and the rotation period was impossibly stable. Most comets wobble, they tumble. Their spin changes as jets of gas erupt from their surface. 3I Atlas rotated on a perfect axis every 7.34 hours, no deviation for months. Think about the precision required for that. By June 2025, Anomaly 3 appeared. JWST's NIR spec instrument analyzed the object's thermal signature. The heat distribution was wrong. The sun-facing side should have been warmest. Instead, the thermal maximum was offset by 23 degrees, as if something inside was generating heat independently. The physics here is intriguing because it shouldn't happen. On September 9, 2025, Anomaly 4, the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in Chile detected faint radio emissions, frequency 1.42 gigahertz. The hydrogen line, the frequency that SETI has monitored for decades, the emission lasted 4.7 seconds, then stopped, then repeated 23 minutes later, same duration, same frequency. NASA's Deep Space Network Station DSS-43 in Canberra detected it independently. ESA's ground station in Cebreros, Spain, confirmed 3 sources, different continents, different instruments, identical signal that is not natural cometary behavior. But the scientific community remained cautious, perhaps unusual outgassing, perhaps unknown molecular processes, perhaps instrument artifacts. Anomalies 1 through 4 could each be explained away. Individually, together they formed a pattern, but patterns aren't proof. Then came December. On December 17, 2025, JWST captured the first high-resolution images of 3I Atlas at its new orbital position. And what those images revealed silenced the skeptics. The object was not a rough, irregular chunk of ice and rock. Its shape was geometric, elongated, cylindrical, with what appeared to be surface features arranged in repeating patterns. Not craters, not fractures, structures. I examined those images for 6 hours. Every instinct developed over 4 decades told me the same thing. This was not random. This was not natural erosion. This was design.
If you're over 60, I beg you to try this 28-day.
Patterns can emerge from chaos. Pareidolia makes us see faces in clouds. The scientific method demands evidence. That evidence arrived 12 hours ago, when 3I Atlas opened its core and revealed an atmosphere that mirrors our own planet's composition. Anomaly 1, Anomaly 2, Anomaly 3, Anomaly 4, Anomaly 5. And now the 6th, the most significant, the one that changes everything. We are no longer asking whether 3i Atlas is unusual. We are now asking what it actually is, and where it actually came from, and why it opened at this precise distance from Earth. Now let me walk you through what the instruments actually recorded when that core opened. At 14:26 UTC on January 3, 2026, NASA's TSS satellite was conducting routine observations of the ecliptic plane. Sun, I-Atlas happened to be within its field of view. What tests captured in those first moments defies every thermodynamic model. We have the opening measured 340 meters across, perfectly circular. The edges were smooth, not jagged, not fractured, smooth like machined metal. Within 0.4 seconds of separation, spectrographic instruments detected atmospheric outgassing. But here's where the physics breaks down. The gas wasn't escaping. It was contained. Pause and consider what that means. In the vacuum of space, at 187 million kilometers from the sun, any exposed atmosphere should explosively decompress. Molecules should scatter at thousands of meters per second. Within minutes, any gas pocket should disperse into nothing. That's not what happened. JWST's NIRCam instrument captured the opening 70 minutes after initial detection. The atmosphere was still there, stable, pressurized, as if held in place by something we couldn't see. The temperature readings were even more impossible. External surface temperature of 3i Atlas, minus 178 degrees Celsius, expected for an object at this distance. Internal temperature detected through the opening, 14.2 degrees Celsius. And let me put that in perspective. The difference is 192 degrees in an object with no known internal heat source. In an object exposed to the absolute cold of interstellar space for potentially millions of years, something is maintaining that temperature, something is regulating that environment, and it gets stranger. ESA's Mars Express spacecraft was repositioned within 3 hours. Its Omega spectrometer analyzed the atmospheric composition in detail. The findings were transmitted to ESA headquarters in Darmstadt at 1914 UTC. Nitrogen 78.4%, oxygen 2.9%, argon 0.6%, water vapor detected carbon dioxide at 0.038%. Those numbers aren't just similar to Earth's atmosphere, they're identical within measurement tolerance. The probability of this occurring naturally, and I calculated it multiple times, random molecular assembly producing Earth-identical atmosphere, 1 in 10 to the 47th power. That's a 1 followed by 47 zeros. There aren't enough atoms in the observable universe for those odds to matter. This should not exist. And yet the data is unambiguous. But what truly concerns me is what the spectrometers detected next. Trace organic compounds, complex molecules, not amino acids, something else. Molecular structures with carbon chains that don't match any known biochemistry. Not Earth biochemistry, not theoretical biochemistry. Something new. NASA's Astrobiology Division received these findings at 21:30 UTC. Within 90 minutes, a Level 2 protocol was initiated, and that protocol hasn't been activated since 1996, since the Martian meteorite controversy.
Dad, new grill? Mom let you buy that?
It means potential biosignatures. Even my colleague Sarah Seeger at MIT, who has spent her career modeling exoplanet atmospheres, said the data presents profound challenges to our assumptions. When someone at that level uses that language, When institutions begin emergency protocols, we need to pay very close attention. The European Southern Observatory pointed all 4 VLT telescopes at 3 at Atlas within hours. Keck Observatory in Hawaii adjusted its schedule. Gemini North canceled 3 days of planned observations to focus exclusively on this object. The global astronomical community doesn't do that for comets. They do it for events that might change everything. And here's what troubles me most. The opening hasn't closed. For 12 hours now, the core of 3I Atlas has remained exposed. The atmosphere hasn't dissipated. The temperature hasn't dropped. Whatever system is maintaining those conditions is still operating, still functioning. After a journey across interstellar space that could have taken millions of years. But what I'm about to show you in the next section goes beyond atmospheric anomalies, beyond temperature impossibilities, beyond molecular mysteries. Because at 2:17 UTC this morning, while most of the world slept, ALMA's array in Chile detected something else emerging from that open core. Something that wasn't gas, something that wasn't radiation, something that was moving. Everything I've shown you so far, the atmospheric composition, the temperature anomaly, the molecular signatures, the 6 documented impossibilities, all of that was confirmed by yesterday evening. But we're not done. At 2:17 UTC this morning, January 3rd, 2026, ALMA's 6.6 antenna array in the Atacama Desert detected something new, something that wasn't in any prior data, something that changes the entire nature of this discovery. Objects emerge from the open core of 3I Atlas. Not gas, not debris, not ice fragments. Discrete objects moving under apparent control. ALMA's interferometry captured 17 distinct signatures, each measuring between 12 and 47 meters in length, each maintaining fixed distances from the others, each moving in perfect geometric formation. This is not cometary outgassing. This is not gravitational fragmentation. This is coordinated movement. The formation pattern was hexagonal. 6 objects surrounding a central cluster of 11, the spacing between each object exactly 890 meters. Not approximately, exactly. The tolerance measured by ALMA, plus or minus 2 meters across 187 million kilometers of observation distance. Let me quantify what we're seeing. F, the probability of random debris arranging in geometric formation, effectively 0. The probability of 17 objects maintaining fixed spacing without propulsion, 0. The probability of natural processes producing this pattern, 0. I don't use that word lightly. In science, we speak of low probabilities, remote chances, unlikely outcomes, but some things simply cannot happen without intention, and this is one of those things. NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office received ALMA's data at 2:54 UTC. Within 38 minutes, they did something unprecedented. They contacted the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs. That communication happened at 3:32 UTC. In the 17-year history of NASA's Planetary Defense Office, they've never contacted the UN for a cometary event. Never. That alone tells you the magnitude. But here's what makes this urgent. JPL's navigation team calculated the trajectory of these 17 objects. They're not staying near 3I Atlas. They're not orbiting the parent body. They separated cleanly and established an independent course. They're heading toward the inner solar system. Current velocity, 31.4 kilometers per second. At that speed, accounting for solar gravitational influence, these objects will reach Earth's orbital distance in approximately 69 days. 69 days. March 13, 2026.
Did you know that if you're constantly anxious, can't sleep at night, always crave sugar, and feel tired?
The objects haven't accelerated since separation. They haven't changed formation. They haven't transmitted any detectable signals. They're simply moving silently in perfect geometric arrangement toward us. ESA Director General Joseph Aschbacher held a closed-door briefing at 8 o'clock UTC this morning. No press, no public statement, only agency heads and senior advisors. I have colleagues who attended that briefing. What they described was not calm scientific discussion. It was controlled urgency. It was the recognition that our models have failed, that our assumptions were wrong, that something is happening that we don't understand and cannot predict. And the core of 3I Atlas remains open. Those 17 objects may be the first. They may not be the last. Let me establish what we now know with absolute certainty. On January 3, 2026, at 1426 UTC, the interstellar object 3I Atlas opened the 340-meter circular aperture in its surface. Through that opening, NASA's TESS satellite detected a pressurized internal atmosphere. That atmosphere matches Earth's composition within 0.3% tolerance. The internal temperature reads 14, 2 degrees Celsius, stable, regulated, maintained by unknown means. At 2:17 UTC, 17 objects emerged from that open core. They arranged themselves in hexagonal formation. They established a trajectory toward the inner solar system. They will reach Earth's orbital distance in 69 days. These are not theories. These are documented observations, verified by NASA, confirmed by ESA, cross-referenced by observatories on 4 continents. The data is unambiguous. But one question remains unanswered. One question that every official statement carefully avoids. One question that determines everything. What sent 3I Atlas to our solar system, and why it opened precisely here? Think about the timing. This object traveled through interstellar space for potentially millions of years. It could have opened anywhere, at any point in its journey, in the void between stars where no one would ever detect it. Instead, it opened at 187 million kilometers from Earth, within range of our telescopes, within observation distance of our most advanced instruments, at the exact moment in human history when we have the technology to see it. Coincidence requires belief in impossible odds. I'm a physicist. I don't believe in impossible odds. Consider the implications of what we're facing. If 3I Atlas is natural, if some unknown process created an Earth-identical atmosphere inside an interstellar object, and then our understanding of planetary science is fundamentally wrong. Everything we know about atmospheric formation, everything we know about thermoregulation in space, wrong. If 3I Atlas is artificial, if it was constructed and sent deliberately, then we are not alone. We have never been alone, and something knows we're here. If those 17 objects are what they appear to be, if they continue on their current trajectory, then in 69 days, humanity faces a moment we have imagined for centuries but never prepared for. There is no middle ground. One of these is our reality. And the clock is running. Right now, as you hear this, every major space telescope is pointed at 3I Atlas. JWST is capturing continuous imagery. ALMA is monitoring for new emergences. NASA's Deep Space Network is listening for any transmission. The global response is unprecedented. China's FAST telescope, the largest radio dish on Earth, redirected its entire observation schedule this morning. Russia's Spectre RG Space Observatory is being repositioned. India's AstroSat is joining the observation network. Japan's Subaru telescope on Mauna Kea has canceled all other programs. Every instrument, every agency, every nation with space capability, all watching the same coordinates. In 3 days, NASA has scheduled a public briefing, the first official statement since the core opened. What they choose to reveal will shape how the world understands what's coming. But the data already exists. The observations are already recorded. The 17 objects are already in motion. March 13th, 2026, 69 days from now. That's when they arrive at Earth's orbital distance. That's when we learn whether they pass by or they stop. And that's when the waiting ends. Science analysts traveled across the galaxy to reach us. It opened its core within sight of our planet. It released objects that are heading our way, and whatever sent them, whatever designed that impossible interior, whatever intelligence chose this moment to reveal itself, it knows exactly where we are. The instruments are recording. The data stream is live, and humanity watches the sky, waiting.
Hello, and if something important is about to happen in your life,